Hi everybody, welcome to this webinar, I Don't Want to Do This Anymore. My name is Joanne Boyes and I'm one of the careers advisors at UCLan. So a few housekeeping things to start off with. For those of you joining us live, your camera and microphones are switched off, but you're welcome to ask questions via the chat box if you want to. This session is being recorded, so you can access the recording afterwards. And if you are watching it live, your name won't appear in the chat box. We will anonymise it before publishing the recording. And you can also access the slides later. Obviously, if you're watching the recording, you won't be able to ask questions live, but you're very welcome to email us at careers or email myself, Joanne Boyes, and find me in the address book. So this presentation is about pursuing a career path that's not related to your degree. So at the end of the session, you'll be able to give examples of how to explore ideas outside of your degree subject. So there are lots of reasons why people decide to do something different. It could be that factors outside their control influence the opportunities available to them. It could be that they've enjoyed the degree, but they just want to do something different. It could be that they never planned to make a career from the actual subject they've studied as a degree. It doesn't matter. Lots of people actually do something different after their degree. So the thing to be aware of is that employers are interested in the skills that you get from a degree rather than the actual subject knowledge in many cases. So having a degree is important. You need to pass, you need to get that qualification, but they're more interested in the skills that you can show from the fact that you've done a degree rather than the actual subject that your degree is in. Not all employers, but many employers. So for example, IT skills, working with others, working independent, being resilient. There's a whole list of different things there that you often see graduate recruiters wanting in terms of skills, but they might not actually need a particular degree subject to give you knowledge. But doing a degree would give you all those skills, even if it's one subject or another. It could be chemistry, it could be fashion, it could be travel and tourism, it could be anything. It will still give you those skills from actually doing a degree. And employers are very, very interested in those skills. So understanding the skills that you have from your degree and the ones that you prefer to use can be really beneficial in looking at new options. So here are a few ideas. So one thing that you could do to understand your skills more is use a website called Prospects. It's just prospects.ac.uk. And there's a section in there called What Can I Do With My Degree, which gives you suggestions. And the things it suggests on there are generally linked to your degree initially, then wider ideas afterwards. But if you scroll down further, it gives you a list of the kind of skills you get from studying that subject. So as well as the ones I've just mentioned that come from any degree, there could be some other skills that are particular to your degree or more prominent in your degree that you enjoy using, that you might want to use in a different context. So that's one way of doing it. Prospects is only about graduate jobs. So it's really useful to look on there for ideas to make sure that you're kind of pitching your ideas at the right kind of level to make the most of having a degree. Another thing to think about skills is if you go onto Career Edge, there are various careers assessments, which are kind of short quizzes just to look at different aspects of your personality and your preferences. Now, there are no rights and wrongs. It's just about people being strong in different ways. So if you go into Career Edge, you could do the strengths assessment, which would give you a summary and help you to understand your strengths in more detail. And then finally, once you've got an idea of those, you could also go onto Career Edge e-learning and look at transferable skills. to get more of an idea of what different skills might actually involve. What do they really mean? So, for example, on there we've got creativity and innovation. So many people think about creativity in terms of designing things, making things look good. But creativity can also be about thinking of different ways of doing things, thinking about new ways of promoting a product, thinking about how to overcome hurdles and issues. So if you want to find out more about skills in particular and what they mean, it's in that transferable skills section on Career Edge. So once you've got more of an idea about the skills that interest you in particular and the skills that you have to offer, then you can look at more ideas relating to those skills. And I would say have several skills in mind. Don't just pick out one and think, I just want a job to do with that skill. Have an idea of several different skills, and then you can explore those in detail. So one thing you could do to get ideas is, again, on prospects, another quiz is the prospects quiz, and basically it asks your preference about different things. Now, this does include skills, but it also includes other aspects, like things like, do you want to work outside? Do you want to work in, different industries? Does something interest you? So it does go broader than just skills, but it does include skills as well. So you could try the prospects quiz. Also, I was doing some experimentation in searching things from skills, and some of those keywords from the previous slide, those transferable skills like resilience, creativity, and so on, I used those as searches on LinkedIn. So I tried searches in jobs and used skills, and that worked. It brought up a whole range of different jobs that had a particular skill in common. I tried it looking on companies, and I also tried it looking at people to see what they are doing. So you can use LinkedIn in several different ways. You can use it to actually search for live jobs and see what's on offer, which is always a really good idea, even if you aren't actually looking to apply for a job right now. So say you're in first year, second year, the beginning of third year, and you see a job and the closing date's coming up and the start date is before you've finished your degree, then it's okay, you're probably not going to apply for that, but at least you've got an idea of the kind of thing that you could do. So searching actual jobs on LinkedIn, even if you're not ready to apply for a job, is a really good idea to get a flavour of what's out there. Search for companies that mention those particular skills as being important in the company. And also, if you look at people in the alumni section, you can see people who are using those skills and see what jobs they're doing and get an idea of the things that you could do using those skills. Finally, some job search engines are better than others when you search for skills. So it's trial and error, try different things, try different search engines that you use. But I found that the jobs at Career Edge search engine that you can get through Career Edge did let you search on skills, and it brought up a really wide range of jobs based on those skills. So it's good to think about skills in terms of what you want to be doing to get some other possibilities. Another idea is to think about your values. So values is a bit of a strange thing to think about in terms of you personally, but it's about what's important to you, what gives you purpose, what do you think is worth, fighting for, what would make you angry and say, right, this needs sorting out, this should be this way, what would make you, motivate you to make a difference with something. And everybody's different. So your values could be simply about, I'm going to work hard, I want to be paid well for it. It could be about, I want to make a difference. It could be about finding new things. It just depends on you and your values. But by finding value and purpose in what you want to do, that can be a really important factor in deciding on your future career. Now, this could be based on what you actually do as your job, but it could be relating to who you would work for as well. But either way, if you think about the kind of organisations you'd want to work for and how your values tie in with their values, then that can really help you to find a job and an employer that you really feel comfortable with. Of course, this is an ideal. So if you're geographically loyal, which means that you maybe live within the Preston area, travel to uni, you want to stay in the Preston area, there will be less potential employers available to you than if you're willing to go UK-wide, Northwest-wide, nationally. So it might be worth thinking in terms of being a bit flexible, but it's certainly a good starting point and thinking about the kinds of companies you might want to work for. So thinking about your values personally, look at the personality insight career edge assessment as well. That can help you think about your values. And then there's a section on career edge e-learning as well, thinking about company values versus your personal values. It might not be that you find an organisation that ties in exactly with your values, but I think at least finding an organisation that is not conflicting with your values is quite important. Quite often when people come back to us in careers for advice, when they've left, gone into a job and then come back to us, and they want a change of career, it can be because they haven't found an opportunity that ties in with their values. And that is a more important thing to them now, and they want to review and rethink around values. Another idea to get ideas is simply put, follow your dreams. So it's quite common that people might have an idea of something they've always wanted to do, but they never actually pursued it. So, I mean, the little picture there, one idea is people want to go into the medical profession, but that's not something they pursued. And there can be lots of very, very good, valid reasons for not doing that. Things like science grades and so on. There's no way around those things. But that's no reason why you can't look at opportunities in the industry that relate to your interests. So, for example, if you'd already wanted to be a doctor, but it just wasn't possible, look at other things in healthcare. Look at other senior roles where you'd be using your degree. Now, there are lots of roles, as you're probably aware, in healthcare where you need a particular degree to do that job, but there are lots of business-related roles in every industry where you often don't need a particular degree. You can go into those. So the NHS do a graduate training programme to get you into those sorts of management roles. Or it could be that if it's something less specific than healthcare, you might be able to retrain or do a master's route to get into something, rather than just thinking about those sort of business-related degrees that are often open to everybody. So don't give up on your dreams. If you had dreams, if there's something you love doing, if there's something that you've developed a skill in or an interest in while you've been at university, think about things relating to that as well. Because if you can make something you enjoy doing into your job, that could be a great opportunity for you. To find out about industries, you can go onto Career Edge, and there are some industry reports on there. And there are also industry reports on things like prospects and target jobs. And if you look on prospects' individual career profiles, job profiles, you'll find links to relevant industry bodies who can give you an idea of other things within that area as well. So another idea, people have often thought this already, to be honest, but I thought I'd put it in there, is to look at graduate schemes. So a graduate scheme is an opportunity that requires you to have a degree. And it's often quite big companies or medium-sized companies that tend to do graduate schemes. And they're often over a certain time period. And there's a set starting point and finish point. And at that finish point, you'll be in a particular role or at a particular level. So it might involve gaining particular qualifications. It might involve going into different sectors of the company until you decide where you want to be. But a graduate scheme often involves learning over a period of time according to whatever structure that company wants, and then a particular kind of role at the end of it. So some of the bigger search engine websites for graduate jobs like Target Jobs, Milk Round, Rate My Placement, Prospect, Cracker, tend to have the bigger companies who are often recruiting several, if not in the tens, 20s, hundreds of graduates all at once who will put them onto the graduate scheme. So these websites are good places to look at. And often for the graduate schemes, they don't look at the particular degree that you have. They're open to anybody at any level. Sorry, not any level. You've got to have a degree. They're open to anybody in any subject. At the end there is the civil service fast stream one, which is definitely worth a look at because that's very flexible for people across different subjects. And I think if you look at that, you can see how you can tie different skills into the fast stream program. Things like problem solving, creativity, and also it could be that that ties in with particular values you may have as well. Now also I found a few handy lists of jobs you can do with any degree. So graduate jobs with any degree. So various different sources of information here. But they all seem to have valid advice and valid lists. So I did look through them all. But you can use those tabs to find those lists. Another idea is just to create your own job. So if there's something you love doing and you can find somebody to either pay for you to do that for them for a service or a product, or working on a freelance basis where you would do that for somebody on a contract by contract terms, then you could create your own job through becoming self-employed. So there's some advice about being self-employed on the Prospect website, and also it's definitely worth being aware of Propeller, which is a fantastic resource we've got available to us at UCLan. It's certainly quite niche that we offer this to UCLan students, where you can get support and mentoring on running your own business. They also run sessions on particular aspects of business like marketing, using social media to market, bookkeeping, all those sorts of things, how to know if your business is valid, writing up a business plan, all those things you might need to know. So have a look on their website. So thank you for listening. Hopefully that's given you several different ideas about how to think beyond your actual degree subject and getting ideas for what you want to do in the future. If you want to look at those links, then you would be able to find most of them either just by going through Career Edge and looking at the relevant sections, or just by using a search, Google, whatever, and just looking for key things like prospects, milk round, whatever. You'll find those. Okay, thanks very much. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.